you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me. Relaxed. Totally relaxed. Even floppy. Absolutely relaxed. Hello, YouTube! I'm Unca Crunk, just your standard issue purple monster of a certain age who plays games on the internet. Today, we are starting Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, the last game in the Phoenix Wright trilogy. I am very happy to return to this franchise. The colorful characters, the completely ludicrous trial process, the lighthearted tone juxtaposed with the fact that the only work Phoenix seems to get is defending, usually, innocent people against charges of committing often tragic murders. So, let's just jump right in with the first case, Turnabout Memories. Episode 1, Turnabout Memories. That's Mia. That's a young Mia. Are we playing as Mia? Ah! How did I get into this mess? Why? Why did I do that? That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. Oh, are we defending Phoenix? It wasn't me. I didn't. I didn't do it. Well, it is Turnabout Memories, after all. 5 years earlier, Mia Fey's second trial. April 11th, 9:40 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Ooh, it's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. Ahem. Hey, it's him. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, good morning.
Oh, Mia, please calm yourself down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know.
What are you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me. Relaxed. Totally relaxed. Even floppy. Absolutely relaxed.
Let go of my lapels.
Okay.
You obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer.
I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today.
Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the pig leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I, Marvin Grossberg, am at your service.
Actually, this is my second time in court.
Still, you surprised me. What with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said, and quite forcefully, too.
I just found out yesterday about the case, I mean.
What? And you've already learned all the relevant facts?
Well, about that. You see, of course I have, I think.
Oh, dear. In any case, don't let our client see you so nervous. You see the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's our client.
Good morning there, everybody. Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia. I just want to say I'll give it all I've got. Yep, it'll be fine. No problem. Oh, what's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Wright? Actually, it's Wright. Like, you know, the Flying Brothers. People screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My duck says this way I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Right, Mr. Wright. You have nothing to fear in court today. If you are truly innocent, I promise I will save you. Please let go of my shirt. That's right. He's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. My name is Mia Fey. Still pretty new at this lawyer thing. The first time I appeared in court was a year ago. You haven't had a single trial in a year? No wonder Grossberg forgot. That trial traumatized me so badly, I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. But this time, I'm going to win. For my client, and for myself. April 11th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2.
Court is now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Our prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense today is Ms. Mia Fey, was it?
Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem?
I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was to be leading the defense.
Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency.
Emergency? But isn't that him standing right there next to you?
Yes, well...
You're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this?
Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honor. I think.
Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please.
Well. I can't believe a veteran like me has to spend his time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Don't worry, little girl. It will all be over soon. What was that all about? Was he trying to trash talk me? Now then, I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow. Oh, excuse me. I have something in my throat. I just made a... sorry. He was a fourth-year student studying pharmacology.
It sounds like he was a very bright young man.
Yes, well. Next, we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body and the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway. They then called the police.
That certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. The court accepts this photo into the record as evidence.
Crime photo 1 added to the court record.
By the way, I can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo.
Your reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honor. The truth is that the victim died a rather unusual death. An unusual death?
What do you mean, Mr. Payne?
Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question. Huh? A simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I am a genteel man, if you will. A what? Stand up to him, Mia. Show him what you're made of.
A perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause? Go on. Please say you know at least this much.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file.
My hemorrhoids are beginning to act up. Now see here. The details of this case are filed under the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you?
Yes, Grossberg, this is my third game. Okay. The court record. I think I can see that by pressing... Oh, really? They're not going to give me... They're giving me keyboards and I'm using...
All of the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good, hard look at the data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear.
Yes, sir. I'll do just that. I've got to stay calm. I can't let that prosecutor get the better of me. The court record. Okay, let's take a look. Just press RB here.
Now then, would the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death?
Autopsy. Date and time of death, April 9th at 3 p.m. Cause of death was a fatal electric shock. According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution.
Electrocution? But how could such a thing happen? Did the murderer use some type of new super powerful stun gun, perhaps?
The answer to that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there is one more vital issue. What's that? Why, motive, of course. Apparently, there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant.
Bad blood?
What do you mean? Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this. I really don't like this guy's smug attitude.
That's Winston Payne for you. He is one smooth operator, if you catch my drift.
They don't
call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know. Now then, let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? And this time, I would like to see some supporting evidence.
Evidence?
No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it into old Graybeard's face.
Yes, sir. Into old Graybeard's face.
Mr. Grossberg, try to set a better example for the young lady. The evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles are as well. You can toggle between the profiles and the evidence with RB, so be sure to go over it all. Now then, let's see what you've got. What was the cause of bad blood between Phoenix Wright and the victim?
Okay. Phoenix Wright's girlfriend dated victim Doug Swallow up until 8 months ago. The reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here.
Dahlia Hawthorne, is it?
Very good, Miss Faye. You seem to have picked up on that, and at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow. Clearly, she has some part to play in this story.
Oh, he's done it again. before the cross-examination starts. He's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well, Mr. Payne. Please call your first witness.
If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Fay...
It's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? The defense has no objection.
Very well. The court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to the witness stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. Yes, my name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect.
No, he means what you do. What did you do before you were arrested?
Oh. I was a university student. Mr. Wright, you understand that you are suspected in the death of Doug... But I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm telling you, I was...
Would the defendant please refrain from passing on his code to the rest of us?
It seems the witness has something he wants to say.
Well then, Mr. Wright, please tell us about your relation to the victim.
Right away, Your Honor. The victim and I admit I was there. But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe.
I see. So you hardly knew the victim.
Right, like I said, I'm not a killer. Whew. Looks like the judge understands.
You're being naive, you know. Too naive.
Huh? It seems that you've forgotten one small thing, young lady. And that would be... this witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination. Cross-examination?
He's right. And it's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. The purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions.
Contradictions?
If a witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record.
But Mr. Wright is my client.
Even if he is your client, in court, all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see.
What's he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now? That there was a lie? A contradiction?
Now then, your cross-examination, if you please, Miss Fay.
Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? I admit I was there. I'm just going to press on everything. When you say there, you mean the place where the victim was murdered? Yeah, sort of. The place something happened anyway. Something. You can't hide what happened. We have photographic evidence. Anyway, Mr. Wright, what were you doing at the scene of the crime? I thought you said you didn't know the victim, Mr. Swallow. It was just a coincidence. We bumped into each other by accident.
A coincidence, huh?
But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. You say you found the body, so who called the police? Huh? Unfortunately, it was some other students that notified the police.
Other students?
That's correct. They were witnesses. Witnesses who saw the defendant standing there next to the body in shock. It's quite dissimilar to the shock that the victim had given, but still a shock nonetheless.
What? Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Could you please stop sneezing every time you're in a bind? Well, it's true that I was, pretty shocked when I found the body. I mean, after all, there was a live wire right over there. That's not what we're talking about. Oh, sorry. But I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. Hang on. Well, what? Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right. I mean, why would I even... But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that the victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? Achoo! Well, Mr. Wright? No, it wasn't me. I'm not a Goliath.
Mr. Wright, I will give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe?
Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Did you see it at the crime scene? The Union Jack, I mean. Yes, that's right. I saw it at the crime scene. That's why I figured he must love British stuff, see? He's wearing a jacket. That's true, cross my heart. I swear I didn't do it. He's acting fishier than the salmon I ate last night.
May I ask you something, Miss V?
Yes, Your Honor. What is it now?
Who is this person anyway? This Union Jack fellow?
The Union Jack is the name of the United Kingdom's flag, Your Honor.
Oh, I see. So you mean like the Stars and Stripes, right?
As usual, Your Honor. Your insight astounds me. Hey, something just occurred to me. Isn't there something strange about this bit just now?
Mia, there is a contradiction here.
Mr. Grossberg!
Quickly now, show that boy you mean business, with evidence I mean.
Okay, Mia, check the court record carefully.
Well, my dear, do you think you can manage on your own from this point?
Yes, I can handle it myself. 1 year ago, I was in a courtroom just like this. I can do it. I can handle this myself.
You mustn't try to bite off more than you can chew, Mia.
I'll be fine. I know what I have to do.
Remember, you can always press him to get more information. Oh, and one more thing. When you're going to state a contradiction, make sure you present some definitive proof.
Okay, Mia, one more time, from the very beginning of his testimony. Oh, okay. I admit I was there. But I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. I never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. The photo? Yep, can't see the back of his shirt. He's wearing a jacket. Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back.
Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning?
Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, well, wait a minute, he's wearing a leather jacket! The Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that was really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. Please forgive me.
Mia, you've made our client cry.
Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. I can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong. That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime. Uh-oh. Did I go too far? By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it? Yeah, I took some, but... Was the medicine that you took an over-the-counter brand called Cold Killer X? Yeah, that's right. Kills colds good. Hey, wait a second. How did you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now? Well, actually, it seemed to have lost it somewhere. He lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case? Mr. Wright, shall I tell you where your cold medicine is right now? Huh? Your Honor, I'd like you to take another look at another photo from the crime scene.
What's this? In the victim's hand, it's Cold Killer X.
Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment. Is Cold Killer X sponsoring this game? I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to. Especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it. What? Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up the bottle of medicine, dropped by Mr. Wright, and hid it in his hand. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright.
Order in the court.
Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence.
Very well. The court will accept them into the record.
Also, the victim's wristwatch was broken.
Broken?
Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all of this? This is really bad.
Oh, my buttocks. My poor hemorrhoids.
What really happened? The truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 245 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then at around 3 o'clock we split up. And later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I'd been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days. but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident.
Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth. Now, forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible.
Ms. Fee, please begin your cross-examination.
Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. Okay, President. Because he called me. Had you ever met the victim before then? No, never! But that day he called me up and told me he wanted to talk about Dolly.
And this Dolly person is...
It's kind of embarrassing. She's my, sweetheart.
What was that for, Mia?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like slapping something all of a sudden. Dolly Hawthorne was also the lover of the murder victim, Doug Swallow. Before she met Mr. Wright, that is.
So it was one of those nasty love triangles they see.
He was in the pharmacology department, so we agreed to meet at 245 behind that building. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 245? Yeah, and we were both there right on time.
You said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct?
Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU.
An alchemist? I see.
I gotta admit, it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. It was filled with chemicals and strange medicines that run on high voltage electricity.
Oh, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man.
What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details? About the pharmacology department? I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. That's right. They sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high voltage cables everywhere. High voltage cables? Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high voltage cables run overhead around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. Oh, right. We're still in the testimony phase. We talked for a bit. Oh, wait. What? So, what was it you were talking about? You know, that maybe we should hang out again sometime. Hang out again sometime? Huh, I wish that were true. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. So you say you went back? Yeah. That's when I found the body. Yes, but why did you go back in the first place? Weren't you angry with him? Well, that's right, I was. Then why, Mr. Wright? Why did you go back there? I thought maybe we could make up. Okay. Achoo! I'll tell the truth. I didn't want to make up with him. I wanted to make out with him. Judging by the atmosphere, I'm pretty sure no one is buying this. Been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days. It's rather unusual to catch a cold this time of the year, isn't it? Yeah, I always get a little careless when the weather starts to warm up. I guess I shouldn't sleep with the window open this early in spring, huh? I suppose common sense is not always common. So, did anyone else know that you were taking cold medicine? Well, I always took one after meals, so I'm pretty sure all my friends knew about it. But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You can never be too sure. Always eat with Dolly. Just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious.
Yo! Why did you punch me in the jaw?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden. What?
I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. And then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason.
I'm not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either.
Let me be frank here, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted.
What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl.
However, there is one mystery that still remains.
There is, Your Honor.
How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct?
Well, that is, you are correct, Your Honor. So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? I could somehow establish how it was done. Maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. Okay, establish a murder method. Your Honor!
Yes, Miss Faye?
I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up till now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died.
That would be most impressive.
Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence. Of course I know that. Actually, I had totally forgotten about that.
Now then, Miss Faye, let me see what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted.
That cable right there. And that, what's the name? Umbrella. As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well.
What? But there's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Ms. Faye, where exactly in this photo is the murder weapon?
Okay, do I select the umbrella or the cable? Well, naturally, it's right here.
What is that?
A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard. The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere.
So then, a high voltage cable...
Yes, a high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation.
That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been a high-voltage cable. However, I want you to think about what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant. And how exactly did he do that?
That much is certainly true.
Yes, that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer.
You do? Well, what is it?
He has fingerprints.
Fingerprints? Do you mean that the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides the medicine bottle?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. And as you may know, leather holds fingerprints quite well. Ah, you mean... Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand.
What?
I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable.
Order! 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 That's enough! I think we can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us. We're done.
Mr. Grossberg!
My hemorrhoids would never lie. The show is over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him.
No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent.
No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt.
Your Honor.
At this time, I am prepared to render a verdict in this case. Do you have something further to add, Miss Fay?
Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Fay, no matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end. We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute. Mr. Wright, I'll tell you what really happened. But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further... I did it. I admit, I pushed him. It's my fault. My fault that Doug Swallow is dead. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that.
What you just said, was that the truth?
Yes. I was afraid. Afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure.
Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are.
But please! Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Faye? I believe in you! Oh, thank you. You clearly have no idea what you just said, do you? I still can't believe it. He really did push the victim.
It feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake.
When I pushed the victim. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. I lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. Oh. He landed on his back. He was found on his chest. Well, the explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that.
A simple explanation indeed.
At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that.
Miss Faye, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that?
Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. If he is innocent, there must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. So, what kinds of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. Like the fact that she can't actually cook and she buys her mini omelets from the convenience store down the street from the school. He said that she was a bad girl.
Is that all?
Yep.
Well, Miss Faye, you heard him yourself.
Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder on me than it already is. Anyway, after you said that, I lost my temper and gave him a shove. Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail? That guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. I just gave him a light, gentle shove to the chest. I mean, look at me. Do I look like someone who could bust down a huge oaken door with a big heavy lock on it? No, of course not. And when you did that, there was no severed cable anywhere to be seen. Right! There was nothing like that at all. But is it possible that you merely overlooked it? Well, I guess it's possible. What are you doing? Don't let that guy steamroll over you like cheap asphalt.
I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony, witness.
At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A loud noise. And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure. But it was really loud. It was like, snap! You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was. Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted. You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm trading on some dangerous ground here. Ask for more details. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So try to remember what it was. How do I put it? It's like a sharp crack. Could it have been? Yes. Could it have been? Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. Fell right on top of it, and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard.
An umbrella, huh? Did that umbrella belong to the victim?
Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella. Cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally stoked to the bone.
Miss Faye, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now?
Well, of course it's important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony. How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer.
The court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony.
After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella. Oh, damn it, I was just about to press that. The game did it for me, I guess because it's a tutorial. So, Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella. Yeah, and you are certain of this? Yeah, it was right there under him. Actually, if it hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it for myself. The umbrella, you mean? Well, yeah, you see, I was wearing this sweater here. Dolly stayed up late for nights at a time knitting it for me. I didn't want the rain to dampen the handmade symbol of her love.
My stomach is not to be used as your personal soccer ball, Mia.
I'm so sorry.
Continue on with your testimony, witness.
A little while after I left, again with the automatic. What is going on here? After you shoved the victim, did you leave the scene right away? Yes, I did. I admit it. I was furious. You left without even checking Mr. Swallow's condition. Well, yeah. Like I said, I got worried about him later. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. At that time, did you see anyone else at the scene of the crime? Nope. Nobody. Jeez, could that stupid cough possibly sound any phonier?
In that case, it's very hard to believe someone else could have been the murderer. Unless we can find something that shows his innocence from that testimony material, I'm afraid the judge will make his final decision with no remorse whatsoever.
Yes, sir. Right now I need more info. Info that will help me turn up some contradictions. Okay. Okay. I did not press anything! Stop backseating me, game! Urgh. I want to present evidence! Okay. Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Come on, if I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier. What do you mean by that? Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole.
You're absolutely right.
The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive. No!
Order, order, order! The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where's it now?
Well, it was collected by the police at the scene of the crime.
I want it presented as evidence immediately.
Umbrella added. Okay. But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind. According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind.
I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment.
No!
I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony.
Yay.
Well done, Mia. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about?
Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. I was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone.
I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying.
Let me guess. You have another witness. Exactly. And this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible.
Well, who is this witness?
In the next episode, do the outro. Well, they managed to find a way to give us a tutorial without giving Phoenix amnesia again. A flashback. At first, I thought that Doug had accidentally electrocuted himself with his umbrella, but since it was broken before he died, it would have been unable to reach the cable, much less break it. Also, it's made of plastic, so it wouldn't cause an arc that would have broken the cable anyway. Right now, my money's on Dolly since Doug had dirt on her, but I guess we'll find out next time. In the meantime, up here's a playlist of my now completed Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!